Hello, I'm Jennifer, and in this video I'm going to show you 2 different ways that you can decorate your mantle for the holidays, so stay tuned. So a few years ago I did a video on decorating a Christmas mantle, and I really packed that garland, which it was beautiful, but this year I kind of want to do something a little different. I want to have the garland a little bit more natural and a little bit more simple. So let me show you. So when I visit the market to purchase things for our store, I'm super picky about the garland. I want garland that you just cannot tell is not real. In fact, one of the tricks that I do, I buy a candle that is a pine scented candle, and when I'm having people over, they tend to really think that my garland is real because it smells like pine in the house. But this garland, I want to show you something. I'm going to put 2 of these garlands on the mantle, but I want to show you how they make it so that you can attach the garland. So on the end of the garland, there's this little loop, and your garland's already bent. This is so that you can place that into that little hoop and your garland hooks together. First thing you need to do is you really need to fluff your garland. Now I can't get too big with my garland because our TV is above the mantle. Yes, I wish it was somewhere else, but that's the only place it can go. So fluff your garland, spread out each of the branches. Now, if a lot of people have trouble with their garland coming off the mantle, so there's 2 tricks. There's one, because I have a distressed mantle, I just put a little teeny finishing nail in, and I put a nail here and I hook the garland there. I put one in the middle and one on the end. If you have a painted mantle, what you want to do is get a command hook and put that hook right on the mantle so the hook's facing towards the wall, and that way your garland will hook into that and not fall off, and it won't damage your mantle. Next, I'm going to add another garland, and this one is just simply a magnolia garland that's really going to add some more texture. When I'm adding the magnolia garland, I'm not going to lay it on top. I'm really going to do my best to weave it into the pine garland. When you're adding the magnolia to the pine, a little trick, because we want this garland to look real, let some of the back of the garland, magnolia garland, show where it's red, because that's how it looks on the tree, and that's how you're going to get this to look like it is real. So the next thing is going to be the ribbon. Now, I love good ribbon, and the one I chose for this garland, it's a beautiful deep red velvet, and then on the back is almost a sagey green, not very bright, and that's kind of what I want because I want this all to look really natural. So let me show you how I'm going to add it to the garland. For this design, I'm going to put 2 bows on each end of the garland, and I'm just going to do a simple 4-loop bow. This bow is really easy to do. I've got a long tail, and you're going to make your first loop, and you're going to come and gather in the middle and make your second. Make sure your loops are the same size, and pull a little bit more of that ribbon. Make your 3rd loop, gather in the middle. Make your 4th loop, gather in the middle. Look how stunning that green is. I'm in love. And then the very last thing, you take that ribbon, you're going to make a teeny tiny little loop in the middle, and what that does is not only does it make the bow extra pretty, it's going to hide when we take our wire, a little bit of floral wire. I'm going to come up under that little loop, flip my bow over, and tie it off. Make sure you have enough floral wire when you're tying it off so you can attach it to your garland. So then we just fluff the bow out, and don't worry about trimming the tails yet. We're going to do that once we put it on the garland. So take your time cutting your ribbon, cutting your tails, and keep a really super straight line. Well, already the garland is looking absolutely beautiful, and this Southern girl loves magnolia during the holidays. Now I'm ready to pull a little bit of red into the garland in the middle. I'm going to show you how to do that so it will look beautiful. So the first thing you need to do, get a little bit of floral wire, maybe about 8 inches, and twist it around your ribbon. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach this to a sprig in the back of the bow so that it looks like this is all one continuous piece. So I'm just attaching it to a sprig and twisting that around, and that's it. Grab yourself another little bit of floral wire, again just about 8 inches, and come with some ribbon and twist again. Put that floral wire around it and kind of tuck in a little bit, and again wire to another branch. Just twist it on there. For the last finishing touch, I'm using 2 sprigs, beautiful gold and little red berries, and what I'm going to do is tuck it around each bow so that it just really highlights the bows. So of course, usually I would add Christmas lights to my garland. This one I did not, just to kind of show you how I was doing it. If you're looking for a super realistic, simply Southern garland, this is it. Now I have it all in a bundle. Everything that I put together is all in one box that can be shipped right to you. I have that link in the description of this video. Okay, time to show you my second garland design. The next garland design I'm going to do is going to be very white and airy. In fact, this garland is a pine needle that's more of a long pine needle. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the mantle first, just like I did before, and this time I'm going to add lights. When you're putting your garland on, something I really like to do is make sure I'm pulling down on the branches to kind of let it cascade over the mantle a little bit. And with this garland, because it's a long needle pine garland, I have a lot more to work with, so it just looks a lot better hanging it over. And now it's time to add the lights. I really like Christmas lights that are warm. I know the LEDs last a whole lot longer, but still an old-fashioned girl. For this garland design, I'm going to actually make a bigger bow just in the center of the garland and then run the ribbon all the way out towards the end. Now for the ribbon, I am a huge fan of platinum in Christmas design because you can pull a little bit of silver in or a little bit of gold. So let me make my bow. Okay, I am in love with this ribbon. It is almost iridescent, very different and unique from anything I've ever used. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ribbon and start on one side of the bow and work it through the garland, and then go on the other side and work it through as well. Another little tip I want to show you when you're using a lighter ribbon. So the pine cones are attached to the garland with a wire, and all I did was take that ribbon and wrap it around the wire of the pine cone to keep it in place. And again, that just makes it super easy. So I'm going just around one time and pulling it tight and kind of tucking that pine cone in where I wrapped it. Makes it super easy to add to the garland. Now for the super fun part, we are going to add some sprigs. These, oh my goodness, they're so beautiful. The white pine cones, you want to spread it out, and we do 6 of them. So we're going to do 3 on one side of the bow and 3 on the other. But this is absolutely beautiful. And you want to, the stem's really long, so what you want to do is you want to trim it just a little bit, not too short, because we want to have enough stem to tuck into that garland and attach. So just a little bit, cut it off, and we're going to start adding it to the garland. After you've trimmed the stem, bend it over a little bit, and this is what we're going to use to actually hook into the garland. But I go ahead and add floral wire just to make sure it doesn't slip from that garland. Okay, now I've got it hooked in, and I'm just going to take that wire and wire it to the branch. That's that easy. So I've got it attached, but just like we were doing with the magnolia, you don't want to lay it just on there. You really want to kind of intertwine it into your garland. And I always say it kind of makes it look like it's been grown together. Now we're just going to add the second one and repeat what you did with the first one. Another tip. So the stem, everything goes in one direction, and when you put it on, maybe you needed a little more of the stem in an area. Doesn't matter. Even though it goes in one direction, pull one in the opposite. They're all on wires, so it won't do any damage to it. For the last thing, I really want to accent that bow. So I've got shorter stems that's exactly the same as the ones I've already put into the garland, and I'm going to nestle it around the bow. Now I'm just going to refluff the bow around these picks. And don't be afraid to move stuff around. Like I said, everything is on a wire, so you're not going to hurt anything. So I'm in love with this garland design, and although it had a little bit more glitter and it was a lot of snow in the pine cones, it's still a very classic look. And both of these garlands, you could add more picks, more ornaments, but I kept it pretty basic. Now we do have everything that you saw me make the red garland design, and everything I used to make the white garland design comes in a bundle. I'll leave a link in the description of this video. And I want to tell you, I so appreciate when you guys leave me comments about how your Christmas decorating has gone to the next level and how much easier it is, because that just makes my heart happy. You guys be sure to subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to have more videos out later. And everybody stay safe and stay well.